Well, that's a good start. I've been commenting on this whole time, and I've been muted. So yeah, anybody who saw the booth video before, sorry about that. So Timo just came up with his LSD, and for I think I heard through the glass was 99.5 centimeters. So now Mirte will be coming up the other side. Watch her push out. So as I was saying with the LSD before I was muted, while I was muted, is that each teammate has to throw a stone, but it has to come from the opposite sides of the ice. So this one seems to be good, but the other one looked good too and kept going. And this one is also just going to keep going right through the house and out the back. Wow. So if it goes out the back, it is 185.4 centimeters. We'll add that with Timo's, and that'll probably be somewhere around 284.5. 284 even. Sorry, I think is what they'll get, depending on if I heard things right. So now, Jose and Michel are going to be starting their 7 minutes of warm-up. With cut back over to me for a little bit, and I'll try to say everything that I said again while I was muted. I don't know how I didn't notice that it was muted. So I was talking about IDK. They're new to the broadcast. Their first televised match. This is actually their first match of the season. It's a team formed by Timo Verreycken. Many of you have seen him. He's the skip of Team Verreycken, and Mirte is the under-18 skip for the ladies teams here in Belgium. They teamed up together in the Belgian Cup last year, or I guess earlier this year, last season, and took a surprising third. Never played together, never practiced, just kind of last minute put the team together and played very well. So should be a very good match from them. You know, Michel and Jose, we saw them a couple of weeks ago. Brecht and Kevin, still two of the strongest players in Belgium, so we're looking for a very good matchup here tonight. Yeah, so you know, still early days in the doubles season. This is you know, only like the first matches. We've only had a couple of matches played. The season's going to start picking up soon. We're going to get more and more matches. I think we have five or six broadcasts scheduled over the next week. Some doubles, some quads. You know, going to be really busy for us over here on Curdia, but we're really looking forward to it, getting more curling out there as well. I believe my own quads team has a match, but I'm not sure if that one's on the broadcast schedule or not. Usually if I'm playing, it's hard to broadcast. You know, we do the mic ups, but I like to be focused a little bit more, so we'll see how that's going to go. Excuse me. So why don't we switch over? We'll let you guys watch a little bit of the warm-ups. I'm going to go get a drink, and I will be back in a moment. No, not started yet, Gregory. They're just still doing, Michel and Jose are doing the warm-ups, and then LSD, so I think they've got about 4 minutes left. I was getting myself a little drink while they were doing their warm-ups. Cheers. Hope you enjoy it. So, as you guys know, we try to put out a shot of the match. If you guys see something you think is interesting, exciting, or worthy of shot of the match, go ahead and just throw like hashtag SOTM in there. Let me see if I can't. No, they never actually let me do this. I have to do it over here. Let me pull up the live chat from the stream. It won't let me do this in OBS. There we go. It takes me too many clicks to get there, but go ahead and throw hashtag SOTM if you see something interesting, or heck, just say something interesting. We'll go with that. It doesn't matter. Just make a note. It helps me go back and find things, because maybe I missed something, you know, by talking too much or not paying full attention. You guys think something a little more exciting. Go ahead and use that hashtag in there. All right, so Timo and Mirte have headed back out to the ice, so that must mean there's less than a minute left. Imagine this will be like the last couple of stones, and then we'll get to the LSDs. Now, I have no idea if this is the real thing or if they're just doing one last practice stone. They're not following it down, so that tells me it is a practice stone. And hopefully I'll be able to stay up on top of the cameras. We do get this one thing, our control panel, we got to get figured out, but it keeps ticking over on the camera sometimes, so I might have to just remember to have it not put on a camera. All right, I think that one came up short. Nope, that was the last practice. Now it's time to get in it, I think. Or maybe that was one. I don't know. They kicked that out like it wasn't going to get there. I thought that could have gotten to the house if they swept it. Last minute discussions over the aim, and here we go. And letting this one go. The other ones were really slow. It kept going through, and this one is going to get through as well. I think that one's going to be a touch closer than Timo's. They never give me an indication of what it is, and I can't read the tape measure from here, so... Sorry? 62,3. So pretty good one, actually. All right, anything in the house is, well, actually, I believe that gives them, this will give Michel and José that choice because Mirte missed her, so, and Brecht was closer than Timo, so I'm gonna see this when they're sweeping it. I think it's a little too light. It does look pretty soft, but you know what? This ice has just been sliding, so maybe they can get this one in there. Looks like we're going to keep it going. Just Kevin's got to get his broom a little bit more in front of the stone, and it just comes up short. All right. So do I have the teams in the right colors? No, I don't. All right, we're going to swap the... make sure we get the teams on the right colors. And there we go. We will be getting some more, doing some more enhancements to the scoreboard. We realized that the hammer is not there, and it shows scores for ends that haven't been played yet. So we're definitely working on that. We go at the beginning of the match, handshakes and high fives, and let's go get those stones set up. Now we do have the curling on in the TV here in the hall, so hopefully it's not loud enough to get picked up by microphone, but I might go turn it down a little bit. I don't think it's that loud. No, it's okay. It's okay. All right, so those of you unfamiliar with the doubles format, it starts out, so each team has 5 stones, but as you can see, they're setting up here. There are 2 stones already set up in play. And these 2 count towards the 5 rock rule, which means you cannot do any takeouts within the first 5 stones until 5 stones have been played. And that includes in the house. In the foursomes, you can take out anything in the house before then, but in doubles, it does not. You cannot take out anything. So the team that has hammer gets to put their stone at the backside of the 4-foot circle, and then the other one is placed up as a guard up top. And this is definitely a doubles is definitely about strategy and being able to hit your draw shots. You don't have a lot of stones to really do any takeouts. And it's this first stone is key. The first stone at the end, because if you can get this around the guard and onto that stone in the back, you can completely switch the momentum of the end just like that. Oh shoot, I forgot I gotta switch switch cameras too. It's hard to pay attention to the ice in there. So that one just didn't fall nearly as much, but good weight. Still a little bit outside, so it's not shot. Very, very good weight on that stone. Maybe we can show these guys while they're setting up. I am going to do my best to try to stay on top of the camera work. This is usually why I have Tim here. But we will be switching. I'll be trying to watch the action, commentate on it, and make sure I'm switching the camera angles so you can see how Brecht is setting up. Kevin's pushing out. Once the stone comes into view here, so Kevin's sweeping it, really wants it to get around this top guard. It's going to fall in nicely, but be a little bit too heavy, and it's going to tap that other yellow one back. They are shot, but it does leave it a little bit exposed to do a slight draw and knock it, tap it back further. They could be sitting 2. So Mirte with her first stone of the evening. Timo calling for the sweep. Really wants to get this one around the guard, but I don't think it's going to have the width on it. It's going to fall into it, and now it's going to open it up. Not terrible for them, because it does mean that Michel and José are going to have to put something out there, potentially try to cover up this yellow. The way Kevin's looking and they're discussing, it looks like they're going to be coming from that left side, maybe try to freeze up against, freeze against the yellow and the red. That would be interesting, really lock that in play. Here comes Brecht stone up the open side. Weight is looking okay. Is that going to fall that last little bit it needs to get over onto their stone? I believe it is. And a very nice freeze up against their own stone. Now, if I can figure out this cameras, maybe I can get a good... Well, it's probably going to be too late. You guys are going to just have to bear with me tonight. Some of the camera work's going to be a bit shoddy because I don't remember everything about every preset we have. On the broom, try to hold it straight, get onto that yellow, so it's going to back yellow out of the way, and actually locks that red one in against the red and the yellow, so... Gonna leave a difficult choice for Michel and José. What are they gonna do? It looks like they're pointing at possibly trying to lock it up against the, freeze it against the yellow. I still think it's, you know, we're gonna see if this is a good decision or not. There we go. See Brecht coming out of the hack a little bit better. That's looking like really good weight right up in there against that yellow. That might, although that might be open for a double there. Definitely playing some weight behind this one. Gonna try to get this one to move. Doesn't look like it has enough weight though, so it might be able to get onto that yellow, but I don't think it's gonna fall a little too much. Spills one of the reds, takes that yellow out, but yellow is still sitting shot. They just put me on the TV in here, so we're gonna mute it. I don't need to hear my voice 3 seconds later. Looks like they're setting up to try to maybe take this double. Interesting choice. At least get that top red out of the way. That could be a gutsy call, I think. It could be a way for them to try to set up getting a second point. Maybe clear out that side of the outside of the button. Leave them something for their hammer. Kevin doing a bit of weightlifting there with the stone, trying to clean it off. Let's try this. Let's see if we can swap these camera angles around. Ooh, a little bit outside. Does get rid of one of the reds, puts theirs on the button, but it is open. Could potentially do a hit and roll to split the house a little bit. Definitely a lot of options there. I think they got a little bit more roll out of the shooter than they really wanted to, but I think that's still overall a good good spot. Oh no, it slipped out further. There is that yellow in the back that is now now closer. So that is gonna make things a bit interesting here. As that camera They can get rid of this yellow, hold the shooter. They could score 2. And actually, if this comes off at the right angle, and they could get over to one of that red on the left there, that bottom red on the left, they could possibly get 3 out of this. Gotta make sure this carries over, at least gets out. Go, 2 yellows. Well played from Michel José. It's taking the lead early on. Very nice stones for both sides. Very good tactics, maybe some slight mistakes in there, but definitely playing well to start this match off. I think just a little bit unfortunate for Timo that his shooter on that last stone just slid out through the house. But as we saw in the warm-ups tonight, the house is just really sliding. It's going really slow, but it just carries through. So let's see. Let me try setting up these cams again. Position 1. Here we go. Watch Brecht here setting up the stones for the next, so that team with the hammer stone sitting at the back of the 4-foot. So each color circle of the house is the red. Outside edge of the red is 4 feet. The outside edge of the white is 8 feet, and the outside edge of the blue is 12 feet. And I do not know exactly what the measurements of those are in meters. I apologize, but it's fairly common practice to talk about the 4-foot, the 8-foot, and the 12-foot. So I generally try to use colors, but we will see. All right, so here comes Kevin with the first stone of the night, first stone of the second end. He's getting on this. He really wants to get this one past that guard. I think that's going to get along just fine. It might now have a little bit too much weight on it. Well, it catches that red stone, and all right, they stay shot. So but it is out in the open, so this isn't like a guarantee. The real ideal shot on this first one is to just draw it around, put it right up against the top of that red one, and it still leaves some room to move, but it's a much more difficult shot to get around to. And definitely put some pressure on the other team to have to come back with another perfect stone. So this one is a little bit open. Can easily be used to kind of tap it away and let theirs sit inside in front of that red. To see which way Timo has his handle set. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be coming up that wall side. Looks like it's just not falling enough for them. Yeah, that's just going to be on the outside of that yellow. Taps the yellow a little bit further inside. But again, that yellow is still sitting behind the T line, so it's something that can be used as backing. Looks like Kevin wants Brecht to put one right on front, just right out in front of it. Maybe in front of the T line. They're just looking at weight here, just trying to make sure that sneaks in there. And nicely done, right in there on the button, just in front of the front half of the button. Can still be moved, but I think we're I think it's going to be a good stone for them. Yeah, and this is where things get tricky when you're trying to move stones around without using takeouts. It's really hard to move things around without weight, so you got to start getting your draws, playing slightly heavier draws to get in there. Something like that, it just didn't fall enough. Unfortunately, it didn't tap the top yellow enough. Hits the second yellow, knocks that one a little bit further back. Tap the yellow on the button even further behind the guard, so gonna be much more difficult to get at with any kind of weight. There we go. Starting to get the hang of the camera. I'm still not going to do this too much, but I'll try to use some of the advanced features of the camera. This one looks to be a little bit light. Not terrible though. It is going to close up that side quite a bit. A little bit high, maybe the wanted that one a little bit closer to the house, but yeah, Timo thinks he's going to be able to squeeze this one through with some weight. He thinks Mirte's going to be able to get this through, so gotta sweep this one, try to get this, or make sure it gets around that center guard. Just a little bit of a tap, just a nudge, moves over onto the other one and falls through. If that one got through that top guard, that would have been a really good stone, I think. Just nudged it, just enough to push it offline. So I think we're going to see another guard here from Brecht. Hopefully, I think they want this one a little bit more towards the inside, more towards that right tram track that we call it. Not sweeping on this one. Now he's getting on it. Just want to try to get this one to move over. Unfortunately, that one did not fall as much as they liked. It's a little bit deeper, which I think is good, but now they left that same shot open again. And she had a really good weight and line on the last stone, so this one just needs to be a little bit, although this one looks to be a little bit inside. They're definitely sweeping it harder. This one is a lot more inside, I think. Which is not a terrible thing, because now it does open up that center. It is going to force José Michel to put another guard up there. Try to block something out of it. Yeah, I think they're going to want to put something just over it on the middle so they can't be a takeout or a direct takeout. They'd have to do something lighter with a little more draw on it. Something maybe hack weight or back line. They really want this one to fall. He's getting Kevin to sweep it. Trying to get this over to their middle line. Ooh, it just did not fall enough, I think. Timo looking at all the possible angles of where the stones can go, if they hit them where, what's going to go, how's that yellow going to jam on the yellow's going to jam on each of the reds. It's looking good. It looks like it's got a good line. They got to make sure this doesn't over curl. It looks a bit on the light side. But it looks like he's sweeping it in there. That's going to hold it straight. Gets both of the yellows to move, but top yellow not far enough. So just one red for one stone for the red team. So through two, Michel and José lead 2-1 over IDK. And so far, it's been a pretty good match. You're seeing some pretty good strategy. Maybe a few mistakes here and there, but nothing catastrophic. Oh, it's definitely going to be a good... you know, it's always good when you have that, when you don't have the hammer and you can force the other team to one, so then you take it. So you take it going into a lead with the next end. Maybe you can get two yourself and really extend it. And in doubles, as soon as you get over like two, you know, start getting to like 3-4 stone leads, it becomes a bit trickier to come back. You have to start taking more riskier shots. You have to take, you don't need to say more riskier shots. You need to take riskier shots, really try to make things happen. You just don't have the opportunities to get everything back the way, very quickly. There we go. Timo's setting up for this first stone of the third end. It's got Mirte sweeping it early. Just want to make sure it gets around that top guard, which it's going to, but is it going to get all the way back to the house? It really should get back onto that yellow stone. We really want to try to put this up there and freeze it against. I don't think it's going to get all the way against, but it is going to come in to be shot. That Yellowstone is still behind it, so it's going to be a little bit trickier to get it away. It is also a little bit tucked in underneath the tucked in under that guard up top, so I'm going to see what the call is here. Kind of Well, the room's too wide for it to be a takeout, so they might just want to try to tap it further out into the house. Try to tap it out of the way. They want it to stay in the house, or at least stay in play. Now, if they're to tap this one away and it rolls out of play, the other team will have the option of replacing their own stone and taking the shooter out of play. Looks like this one, they're just trying to tuck it up against it. Yep, so when they do, so they can use it later to try to, once the fifth stone has been played, they can use it to try to take out the red. They're also going to be able to take out, or prevent IDK from putting anything a little bit closer up that side, so... Yeah, it looks like Timo wants Mirte just to throw a guard here, just kind of shut down this the open side here. He's got her sweeping it early. And I really had the wrong camera angle on for that, sorry folks. Ooh, that is going to get deep. Is that going to get onto the button? That's going to be a really nice one if that gets right onto the white, which it does. Ooh, that's going to give red a second scoring shot there. But now takeouts are available. And the way Kevin is setting up his broom, I think they're going to want to do something here. At least get rid of one of those, try to get rid of one of those reds. Maybe a hack weight takeout. I think anything on that right side of that hits the right side of the red stone with a little bit of weight is going to move both those stones out of the center of the house, which is really all they want to do. Oh, he's on it early. Looks a little bit inside. Is this going to sneak past that guard? I don't think so. Just slides the guard out of the way. Shooter spills out to the outside. Oh, even the guard touched the side. So now it's a bit open. We're going to have a lot more of an opportunity to... they've got... IDK has options here. They can try to tuck one in against there. They could try to put up a guard. Looks like Timo's putting up a guard. Yeah, Mirte flashed her hands. She'd like to see a guard up there as well. So, oops. Sorry, wrong camera. They're not sweeping this. I think they like the distance. Is that going to be enough? Did they wait too long to sweep? Nope. That's going to get in there just nicely. Cover up those two stones on the right side, or on the open side. But now Michel and José are going to come back. I think they're going to try to play their own red in, or yellow in. Try to move one of these reds. If they can get it off to the side, they potentially move both of the red ones away. I think they'd be happy with just getting one of them. And at this point, they can't be worried about keeping that yellow in the back anywhere in play. Oops, I keep going down. Sorry for anybody who's motion sick. Not quite what they had in mind, but it does get rid of one. Their yellow stays as well. The shooter is gone, but they did bring in that other one, so... You can see Timo calling for a guard, just tapping his broom up high. They want to take out this... They want to take the takeout away. And so if they can leave a high guard, it'll take out the... It'll remove the opportunity for a takeout. But you do still have that opening up the open side. Now this one does need to curl in a bit. High is okay, but it does need to get in there. Is that going to fall over enough, or is there enough of a gap for them to get there? I think that little bit of curl at the end did just enough. Not sure they're really going to be able to get onto it easily. They're looking at it. Now the thing is, I think if they're going to come... Oh, okay. Looks like they're setting up. They're either going to try to open up this... take that center guard out of play, or they want to try to run it back onto their yellow, which might run it back onto the red, which would then leave the yellow in play, so... Kevin getting set up, or sorry, Brecht getting set up in the hack. Oops. And I totally lost him. Tracked too fast, sorry. Sorry about that, chat. Now, it did not fall as much as they would liked it to, but it does clear that red one out of the house, out of the center. Going to see what IDK does here. Very likely just going to call for a guard. Yep, see them tapping the broom. Probably just going to throw a guard up there. Want to try to close that off. Try to get their steal of one. Tie this matchup going into the next end. But Michel and José will have... We do have the hammer. They do have an option up there depending on where this stone stops. Not sweeping it, so he seems to like the weight. Really just want to focus on that line. Might be a little deep. They could potentially still curl that around unless that gets so... all the way into the house. That's a lot further than he wanted that to go. And what kind of options do they have here? Can they get around? Can Michel and José get around that and get into the button to where they need... I don't know if they can. They have to get all the way onto the pin. It's really... They're looking at options. I saw Brecht throw his hands out wide, like maybe just decide to split it, you know, send something in there hard, see what happens. I think worst case scenario is they give up one. Well, worst case scenario is they somehow manage to take both of their yellows out or take the top yellow out and the other red becomes a scoring point, but I think that's pretty difficult. Now, for me, there's always a possibility that they come up the middle with sort of a hack weight, maybe a little bit heavier, maybe back wall to with the curl towards the wall, that it gets them around that top red, squeezes in around the second red. Let me see if I can't solve this. Nope, that's the wrong wrong camera. Sorry. And I'll see if we can't zoom this in. Geez, some of these controls are like super sensitive. So if we look here, you can see that they can come around the red on the right, that top guard. And if they go out that way, they might be able to get onto that yellow just enough to tap that back. But that is a risky shot. That is not something a shot they've played at all tonight. I don't even know if they would know how the ice is going to work. So that's just something that's going to have to be. Do they see it? Do they try it? I think where they're setting up the broom, that doesn't look to be what they're trying to do. It's very high risk, high reward kind of shot. They could use it potentially to steal two. I think they're just throwing this one away. Don't want to risk giving up another one. And so one for IDK there. Probably a sensible play. You don't want to take a risk and give up even more. And you think that if there's no easy way for you to get one of your own, then it's going to be, it's probably the smarter play to just say, okay, let's give it up. We'll leave it as it is. So throw the stone away, take the hammer into the next end. You're only down. You're not even down. You're just you matches level through 3, so 5 ends to play. Don't take any risks. See, we've got a couple chatters in here tonight. Thank you guys for watching and supporting your teams. Really appreciate you having you here. Have any questions? Have any comments, concerns, cheers? Go ahead and type them up in the chat. We read everything, or I read everything. I'm just here alone tonight, so. All right, so Timo's starting us out in the 4th end. He's just gonna try to draw this one as usual, right onto that stone on the back of the 4-foot. This is in Zemst. This is at the curling club Zemst. The only purpose-built curling hall in Belgium. And actually within 500 kilometers of here, there are no other purpose-built curling centers. Everybody uses ice skating rinks or ice hockey rinks. So we do get a lot of people coming up, and we get teams coming from other countries to train here. So we just had last weekend, or the weekend before last, the Spanish women's national team. We actually have teams from Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Paris who play in our league, play in the Belgian league. So it's a truly international league we have going on. I don't know how you would abbreviate Benelux plus France. I don't know how the FR would would be pronounced in there. All right, so that one came up a little bit short. I don't think they really wanted that stone there. Timo yelling at Mirte to sweep it. Thinks it's a little bit inside. Wants to make sure it gets around this guard. It's going to clear that guard easily. Will it have enough weight to get back onto the yellow? It does, and holds into the 4 foot. Very nice. So knocks that yellow away. Now red is sitting 2. That second red, though, is out in the open. So that can be used as a hit and roll to hit and roll back underneath everything and get protected. Yeah. Just found out Nathan Moose, if you're still here. Mirte's mother says hello. She tells me who you are. You know Mirte from curling camp. That's great. Glad you're watching. All right, this one's coming down. I don't think it's going to have enough on it to really move that red, but it is going to move it enough to get inside of it and become shot stone. And it is frozen up against the red, so it's going to be a bit harder to move. But I do believe that they can still hit and roll, tap and roll in if they like. Looks like what's what Timo is calling for. Looks like this will get around those top guards easily. Is that going to actually curl too much and not hit the yellow? It's going to be close. Oh, it misses the yellow. Well, just scrapes the yellow, but it doesn't hit it enough to roll inside, and it just passes through. Yellow is still sitting shot. They've got the same option here. They can try to draw it in directly on the button, or they can try to play the hit and roll. And if they catch that yellow just right on the hit and roll, their 2 reds could come into play, come into scoring again. So definitely going to be a consideration there. But I think where Kevin is setting up the broom, Brecht is just going to try to draw this one in. Now, even a little bit heavy of a draw isn't going to be terrible because they do have the backing of that red, and I believe that if it touches up against that red, it would be still shot stone. It's going to be close. Definitely sweeping this one. Does it have the line? What kind of speed does it have? It's not falling enough, but it is going to freeze up against their own yellow. Maybe a little bit of separation there. It is a potential double, I think. But I don't think they're looking at the double. The way that Timo is tapping his broom, but I've been wrong before. I'm often wrong. I think at some point we're going to start making a little guessing game from chat on how many times I'm wrong in a match. Put up a little poll at the beginning that everybody put in their guesses. Because this is a frequent thing on this channel, me getting the call wrong. It's definitely going to have enough speed to do the little tap. Are they going to get the tap and the roll? Ooh, they do. Oh, they nice roll there. Sweet comes up underneath the other guard. Gets rid of one of the yellows. And that second yellow moved in a little bit, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get that one out. But they do have an opportunity. Well, actually, no, they don't want to. Sorry, Michel and José don't want to take their own out, but they might have to be able to play off of it to move the red off the button. This is always a mentally difficult shot to take. It's like you don't really want to take one of your own stones. It's so close to scoring out of play, but I think that's the only way they can really get in there. They've got to just get around that top, around that red guard on the center line and then come over. And now see, and this isn't necessarily an easier shot because for Brecht, he's left-handed. And so he's coming over from the left side hack. And so that's going to make it a little bit different angle than if he was right-handed coming off that right side hack. Oh, now they've changed the position, changed their mind. They're just going to try to clear up these stones. Clear up the guards on the top. Not sure quite that's what they wanted to do with that yellow up top. I don't think they wanted that one to sit up there because that still kind of blocks off that half of the ice. I think Timo is looking at maybe just drawing it in there, coming around the well, they're looking at their options. He seems to think that coming up that right side, the wall side, is going to be a bit of a better option. But knowing him, he's talking about every possibility. What happens if we do this, then they can do that. He's an excellent tactician. He really understands the game. And doesn't usually seem to fall pressure to the decision paralysis sometimes the coaches that skips have when you've got too many choices. Like, well, what do you do? And then you end up missing. So where he was rubbing his broom and where Mirte is standing with hers, I believe we're going to see some kind of guard up anywhere up that left tram track that happens to be hidden by the light reflection. Somewhere up there, try to take out the potential takeout. Now, I just noticed the microphone is not pulling up from the ice. It's not pulling up any sound on this side. I think after this end, I'm going to have to run out really quick and just do a quick microphone reset. Won't take but a second. Except I do have to get the ladder out, so I don't want to do that while they're in the middle of the end. Normally it shouldn't bother them, but climbing up on a ladder right next to the ice isn't going to be might be too distracting. Looks maybe a little bit heavy. Heavier than they wanted. They just want to try to get this in there. It's not going to fall over. Is that going to curl over and get a tiny piece of the white? Maybe. That's hard to say. That could be biting a little bit more than that yellow. Could be a second one. Not really sure. It's difficult to tell from this angle. We don't have the overhead, so the direct overhead, so it's not easy to pick out where it is. All right, so we're left to see what they can possibly do here. I think they're going to try to get some sort of takeout, try to possibly split these out, hopefully not touching their yellow. I do think it's possible. I really do think it's possible. Let's see here what they're looking at from the far end. Really got to hit it just on that edge. It's not an easy shot. This is because I think if they nose hit it, it's not going to tap that other right away. So they actually need to be slightly right side of the nose. Now, looks to be a bit outside. Yep. Well, did manage to get that other red out of there that may have been counting instead of the yellow. But it is another steal of one for IDK. You know, really good form, you know. This you don't have the hammer. If you can take one, there you go. All right, so I'm going to take a quick pause. I will put up both cameras while I go mess with the microphones. Hopefully I don't shake the cameras too much. And oops, let me make sure it's in the right position. We'll put the split screen up and I will be right back. That microphone does definitely seems to be on the fritz, but I have done something so at least it won't be totally silent on that end when I'm not talking. Definitely gonna have to be sending that microphone back to get replaced. But all right, so what do we have here? Looks like, oh, I missed 3 stones. Okay, good opener from IDK there to get frozen on the back there. We've lost a yellow stone already. All right. Note to self, do not wear a collared shirt next time. The cord on this microphone keeps hitting my collared shirt and bumping the microphone. All right, little tap off that center guard. I think Timo is just going to have Mirte replace it. Just a nice high guard up there in between the tram tracks. Try to take away any kind of takeout. Ooh, that may have fallen just a hair too much. Maybe that's a little bit on the inside, but I still don't think that Michel José can get back onto that red and clear it out of there without. I think all they would end up doing is taking out the red or the yellow. So they're going to try to split this open again. Alright, so here comes Brecht, just pushing out, coming hard. I guess I probably should have switched camera angles to show the push out. It's gonna fall just a little bit too much. Gets 1 stone, but we're really trying to split the pair there. Mirte's just going to be throwing that second one back out there. Trying to do the same thing as the last stone. Alright, so Mirte's stone is really out there nicely. Kevin's going to try to move this one out of the way. Maybe they can run it back onto that second stone. Potentially run it back onto the house. Or onto the button. Who knows what's going to do this. Now, not quite what they wanted, but it does open up that middle line a little bit. They could still potentially get in there and get into that left side of the center stone. Yeah, looks like Timo is just going to be looking for a just a high guard right up near the top, right near the guard. I want to just shut down any kind of takeout possibilities there. Even finds this one might be a little bit short. I think he wants to make sure it gets down there. Doesn't want it to curl too much though. Maybe falls just a little bit more than they would have liked. I think he would have liked that a little bit more to the other side of the center line there. Not a bad stone. It does make it a little bit more difficult, but you can still. I think that Michel and José still can get around it and then get onto that other one, but is it going to be enough? Yeah, it just goes to show the importance of that very first stone of the end. You get it right there on top of that that back of the forefoot, and you just got so many problems if you're the other team. Now, as a skip, this is what you like to see. You like to see your opponents having to have these discussions and really kind of throwing their hands up and going, oh, I don't know, can we try this? Can we try that? You know, if you give them a low percentage shot and the team makes it, well, there's not much you can do. But if they, you know, you can just see from the body language sometimes from the other team that they're not sure if they're just throwing that stone away. I don't think there's anything they could do to get onto it. See, I think they were looking too much maybe at taking it away. They did see run back that top yellow or one of those reds back. I think there was a potential draw there. But maybe it was going to fall too much to get on that button. I don't know. That was a tough one. Like that's as a skip, that's what you want to do. You don't want to leave your opponents with an easy choice, and that's the second time tonight we've seen Michel and José just throw away that last stone. So another one for IDK. That's 3 steals in a row. Looking very strong out there. Michel and José is definitely not out of it, but it is tough to come back against Timo. He is an excellent competitor, very good strategist. So you gotta get your stones right. It's funny the way Mirte's holding her hand. It looks like she's like texting during the match, like letting all her friends know what's going on. It is just her stopwatch, but you know how kids in their Snapchat and Instagrams are, their TikToks. All right, Timo gets on the broom. Wants to get it down there. Wants to get it as close as possible. Did he wait too long to get on the sweep? I don't think so. I think that's settled in. Oh, no, just a little bit too slight. Brecht was standing in the way. Couldn't see it. We're going to have to do some TV training for some of these players, get them used to where they should stand, where they shouldn't stand when it's not their turn. Give us some better views on the ice. So this is definitely an opportunity for Michel and José to come back around. Looks a bit light though. Is that going to fall? Yep, I think that's going to fall and come up against the Center guard never really had a chance, or never had a chance to get into the house. It was just too late. It does make that draw from the wall side a little bit harder, but I think that it will still get around. I'm not sure how much the ice is falling. We haven't seen a lot of big curls here. But I think there's still even the opportunity to come up through the middle and go out towards the wall and still get inside. Still get inside that center white circle, or the button. Ooh, might be trying to do a tap back here. Definitely want to sweep this, make sure it holds that line. I think it's going to fall just a little bit too much. Not quite have enough weight on it. Yeah, it just kisses off that, that guard. Oops. I keep swapping cameras, sorry. Ah, too fast. Too fast. Sorry about that. There you go. That's a decent takeout. Really trying to splits that open. It's going to force IDK to throw another guard out there. They're literally both standing in the way, so I can't get a good angle of this. But it is their right as the players to have the best shot. They should not worry about what the camera is doing. We will get some better angles. Really try to find some good shots. All right, let's see if I can't do this again without going too fast here. A little heavy, but that is going to tap it on. And does tap against the yellow and stays shot. I see. Kevin and Brecht, they're going to be looking to see where they can put this stone. What do they need to do? I really think they're going to try, they want to try to hit on that red and stick, or potentially roll back over on top of their yellow to freeze it. At the very least, let's get rid of this, let's get rid of that yellow, or sorry, let's get rid of the red. And if their shooter sticks over on that side, it's still behind cover. You gotta make sure this one falls. You just do not want this one sitting straight and landing right on yours. Alright. Clears out the red. They lose the shooter, but they are still in shot position. So lots of discussion going on here, what they could potentially do. They could hit that yellow, roll underneath the red. They could hit the yellow, roll away from it, split the house. Leaving Michel and José to chase. They could freeze up against that red, that yellow. Just securing one. Lots of options going on here. I think we're going to see the hit and roll underneath the red. Is that going to clear that guard? Fortunately not. Just a little bit wide there. It does, however, put another red in the house. May come into play, maybe not, but it's always good to have more stones in the house. Yep, they're just going to try to take this red one out, get it out of play, hopefully keep their shooter in the house somewhere. I think an ideal spot would be somewhere over towards that red one in the blue circle, in the 12-foot circle. It'd be a little bit out of the way, it would be guarded up. And if I keep it inside of there, then it would be a scoring shot. Whoops. We'll go back to this angle. Not gonna quite fall over far enough, but it does get it. And it does split the house. So it is far enough away. Then again, if it's Timo throwing the stone, he can get this double. This is it's not an easy double, but it is there. I think you're gonna see him. He was looking at it. He's talking about the risk, because if he misses it, then they could get 3. Or if they just draw to the middle, they could leave it in a position where it could be taken out, and they'll get, and Michel and José can take 3. So I think he really wants to try. He wants to try to get the double, wants to get at least one of them out. Ideally 2. And have the shooter stay. So he's definitely going to be trying to play the shooter off the inside of the left, ricocheting it into the yellow in the middle of the house. Hands will go up in the air. We'll see hashtag SOTMs in the chat. And everybody but Michel and Jose will be happy. Oh, he wants it to fall. He needs it to fall. Oh, just slides it by. That would have been an amazing shot. A good effort there. Fell just a touch too much. So now what we're going to see here is Kevin just throw a draw in here. Try to get this one inside the, fully inside the 8 foot. Get it fully inside the 8 foot, score 2 points, level this matchup with 2 ends to play. They've got one now. They really want this second one. You don't want to have the hammer and end up missing out on a point, because then you're giving the other team, they're keeping the lead and they have the hammer. And against Timo, that can be that is very difficult. On it early, might have left it a little bit light. Oh, it's not going to get down there. They're not going to be able to sweep it in, I don't think. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, Kevin slams his broom in disgust. You really hate to leave an open end like that. Open draw. And only have to get into the 8 foot and giving a point away. All right, so through 6 ends, Michel and Jose have 3, IDK have 4. And IDK is the hammer going into this end. You know that they're going to try to put up a couple of points to make it difficult for Michel and Jose to do something here. So Kevin's going to have to bounce back from that stone, which is really, yeah, it can't be said as anything but a miss. There we go. No. We want it there. Okay, we can switch these cameras back around. There we go. So yeah, Kevin's gonna have to shake that one off. He's throwing the first stone of this end. He needs to do something good with it. He needs to get it down there, get it on the yellow, or get it on that hammer stone. Oh. So going with the power play. Okay. I thought the rule was with the power plays you had to be losing in order to call it, but I guess not. You just have to have the hammer. So Timo's going to throw out the power play. I think Kevin is going to go, or Brecht is going to go ask to confirm. It needs to go on the T line. No, it has to go in the center of the T line, not in front of it. I think asking for some help from the others. Yeah, it has to go basically where the T line crosses the 4 foot. Now they're talking about putting it in front. We're gonna get some more teams involved here. I guess it goes in front of the T line. We played ours the other night and we were told to put it on the T line. Definitely going to have to be looking this rule up. See if we can't... I'm going to have to learn this one better. We're now seeing it again. Oh, would have helped if I had switched the camera. Sorry, I thought I had the split screen up, so I wasn't paying attention to the cameras. So ideally, when you throw in the, I missed that. How did that one get all the way back out? Oh, it ticked off the guard. Sorry, it was a little technical glitch here. So ideally, when you're throwing first stone with the hammer, with the power play, you want to try to draw it around. It's the same kind of thing. You want to put it on top of and slightly inside of that red stone to kind of freeze it, give you something to work with, and like kind of lock that outside spot out, and then you can start throwing either side. So I think that's what Timo is looking to do. He's going to try to draw his first stone up against that red, kind of freeze it in place. At least that's from the hand motions I saw him making. Sorry, I guess you guys can't see that. I really need to put it on the split screen for this. And they're down there talking about it. You can see them in the hack. Oh, I guess I was wrong. He's actually just going to try to put this behind that yellow guard. Anywhere in the house, even in short, will be good. You want to try to prevent the other team from getting into, to be able to get on the button. All right, yeah, Kevin indicating he wants him to come around. Just try to get it, you know, in the red, front of the T line. Try to get something in there. Because they really do need to score. I think they really need to get themselves in a good position here. I think Timo calling for the power play, or IDK calling for the power play, is going to make it much more difficult for them to score. Looks like it's gonna have enough, and that is just gonna sneak into the just behind the T line. So well protected from a takeout, but you could do a hack weight. I don't think they're gonna take out. I think they're just gonna try to draw in on top of it. Maybe even just push their red one back. You could open it up, taking out that yellow one would be okay for them, so... Yeah, IDK they want to try to keep this open. They'd be happy to take one. Would give them a 2-point lead going into the end. They probably will want to score 2. They'd like to have, you know, a 3-point lead if they're giving up the hammer. Sweeping it hard, just gonna tap it back, tap onto the yellow, gets that far enough back, and it's hard to see Timo to step to your left just a little bit. I think the yellow is still second shot. It was an excellent stone from Mirte there. Did exactly what Timo asked of her. Tap that red one back onto the yellow, moves the yellow one out of the way. Red one stays and is well covered. still a potential. A potential double, but not likely that's what they're going to go for. Get a look from both angles, how you can see it. Oops, didn't want to do that. Ah, thanks, Thomas. Good to know. Well, it's going to catch that top red and not quite get over there, but it does bump that other red out of the way. So it gives them 2 yellows inside, but still a difficult stone to get off that button. Okay. Let's see what Thomas has written for the power play. Once per game, each team, when it has the decision on the placement of the positioned stones, can use the power play option to position those 2 stones. The in-house stone, which belongs to the team with the last stone on that end, is placed on either side of the house with the back edge of the stone touching the T-line. Oh, okay, at the point where the 8-foot and 12-foot circles meet. All right, so I shouldn't question Timo anymore about the rules. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you looking that up for me. All right, this one is looking really good. They're going to try to sweep this one down. Still blocks off that other one. I think they're going to have to run. It is doubleable, but they've got to hit it. They've got to make sure they're just off the left side of the nose on that top red. I think they could get both of these out. Very likely they'll lose their shooter, but then they'll still be sitting two shots in the middle. Sorry, 2 shots in the house, not in the middle. There you go. Timo, step back. You're one more step and you're perfect. You're out of the camera line. Kevin's in the way, of course, but Kevin's got to be in the way. All right, so Brecht coming down on the release. And I really swear I keep forgetting that I'm not on split screen. Is that going to catch enough? No, just catches it on the nose. Pushes it just past the red. So now Timo and Mirte looking at their options, what they can do, what they should do. I don't think they're worried too much about scoring a lot. They'd like to take this end. I think they would like to get a second one going in with 3, but I think they'd be pretty happy being up 2 going into the last end as well. Yeah, so they're just gonna try to draw in from this, from the open side of the ice. Try to get that one into the house. Gonna clear the guard easily. Just needs to get down there. Is that gonna fall enough? I think it's gonna be just a little bit heavy, but it taps that one further into the button. And possibly goes deep enough to prevent the double, but that might still be possible. I think that is possible to get the double both of those reds out of there. I think Kevin's confidence might be a little bit shaken after oh no, wrong, sorry, wrong angle. Wrong camera. Either Brecht was adjusting his sleeve or he's asking for Kevin to give it a little bit of power. All right, here we go. Needs to get around the guard. Is it gonna fall? No, it's gonna be a bit on the outside. Does at least stay in. Leaving them with one, but I think they can draw this around from the wall side. Ooh, Timo looking like he can come from the open side and potentially tap it out. Score 3. The risk being that if he hits it on the outside, that could tap the red away. I don't know that it'll be throwing with that much weight that it would do that much, but you never know. Yeah, this is an important shot. The potential to score 2 or 3 here would definitely 3. I think we'll be seeing handshakes going into the last end down 4. We might see handshakes, maybe not. But being down 3 or 4 going into the last end is always a tough one, especially if your confidence isn't there. I think Kevin tonight has been a little bit not his usual self. He's been leaving some shots short, so it's going to be, is that going to play on his mind going into this last end? Let's see what happens here. All right, here comes a stone. And again, I forgot to put it on split. It's gonna get just around that guard. Is it gonna get enough to get in? And it does, and it's gonna count 2. Big 2 for IDK, puts them up 3 going into the last end. Is a big ask. Come back against this team. They're playing super strong tonight. Yeah, Mats, that was very classic. Good shot there from Timo. Not an easy one, but definitely puts more pressure. You know, being up 3 is a whole different animal than B2. Yeah, that's waar, Nathan. Goeie ball. We see that all the time on the ice. You hear that a lot over here in Belgium at the everything's a good ball. All right, so Michel and Jose are going with their own power play here in the end, in the last end. We don't get, I haven't seen a lot of power plays, but I think we've had, well, now this is the 3rd in 2 matches. No, this is the 4th in the last 3 matches we've had on the channel. Love to see it. Love to see the action. We're going to see this one. It could be really exciting for potential to score. Going to be some pressure on Michel and Jose to get the stones right. Alright, going with a little something different here. Not just going for the standard draw it onto the stone. I think they're going to try to draw it, just throw something out in the middle. Putting up a center guard, something high in the house. Or what do I know? I haven't predicted these ice to the stone all night. The ice, once it gets into the house, it just keeps going. I thought that was going to stop in the blue, and it carries all the way into the 4-foot. No, they cannot take it out yet, so it's not just so simple. What they're going to try to do is they're going to try to split the house. I just want to put something opposite side of the house, just inside the 4-foot, or inside the 8-foot. Ooh, this might be a mistake. It's going to get to the house. Still usable, but not what they wanted. They really wanted to get that one into the house. Kevin slapping his broom on the ice in frustration. I think it's just been that kind of night for him. Was echt precies voor om die daar net tussen te spelen, maar het is gelukt. Someone's gonna have to help me with that translation. My Dutch brain is just not working tonight. Been speaking too much English, so the Dutch is out of here. Trying to say, om die daar net tussen. Kim's gonna come and help me out here with that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Precision work to get between the stones, but they did it. So, yes, that was had to really be precise there. Oh, and what do I have open? I have the wrong camera open again. All right, so Timo's going to come down here. Probably just freeze it up against the red. Maybe put a guard in there. Very likely we put a guard. I don't want this to over curl or get too deep because it could set up a double to get it out. A little bit deeper than they wanted, I think. Now, I think they're going to be tempted to play a hit and roll on this double, but they got to make sure that that red, top red, doesn't jam against the other red. I think they really want to make sure these get out of the house. But yeah, ideally... Yeah, Matt, it's not been an easy night for them. They've played some good shots, but they've also missed quite a few that they needed to hit. So it's always tough carrying that into the last ends when they're you're not feeling it. You've not been hitting your shots. Then your first stone of the end isn't what you need it to be. All right, not sweeping it. It's going to be a little bit off to the side. They are going to get that roll, but it's going to roll too far, and it jammed. Top red jammed. So shooter falls out of play. They do clear out one red, but they needed that stone. If they need to score 3, they needed that shooter to stay in the house. Yikes. Oops, I'm spilling... liquids near my fancy computer stuff. Give me a second. Note to self, don't put an open bottle of 7-Up on the same place that you have all of your fancy video and computer equipment. Plenty of other places to put it except right there. Because you're always going to inadvertently knock it over when you least expect it to. Oh yeah, Matt, I don't think Michel and Jose, I don't think Kevin and Brecht are giving up. But yeah, you can feel it that it affects your concentration. It affects your focus when you're not feeling it. It's really hard to hit those to be as precise as you need to. But hey, you never know. We could get a 3-end. They could score a 3-end. We could end up with a drawn match. That would be very helpful for them because that would keep them in first. Michel and Jose in first place. Would be a big confidence boost, feeling like you didn't play their best, but still kind of come away with a point. But I fully don't expect Timo or Mirte to leave them many options. Oh wait, no, this is next to last stone. There's really nothing they can do. Well, that's not true. That is not true. Potentially going to try to run back the guard onto the stone in the house. Unfortunately, just a little bit wide, so knocks it cleanly through. They have... Nope, sorry, I lost count. Mirte throws first and last stone, so... I think. Yeah, there's still plenty more stones left. I somehow lost count. Hey, at least it didn't happen until the last end tonight. Like, I think, last week's match, I think I started losing count of the stones, like, I think in the 3rd or 4th end, so... It's an improvement. Maybe someday I'll make it through an entire match without losing track of the stones. I think he thinks for him it might be a little bit easier to throw a straighter stone. He really wanted to run it back, and taking out any kind of curve. That would be my guess for it. Oh, is that going to be a little bit wide? It is. It's going to just tick the red, but not get it out of the way. That was another mistake. Yeah. Yep. All Timo wants to do is get these yellows out of the house. Make sure they can't score 3. So if they get this one out, it's all but mathematically over. They could still find a way to try to tap that yellow stone in while getting a shooter into the house, but that is going to be a very, very tricky feat to do. This one's coming along nicely. Taps the yellow out of the house, that's all they care about. Shooter falls off to the side. And they have decided to shake hands. Pretty good match tonight. Unfortunately, Kevin and Brecht not quite up to their usual. Timo and Mirte played very strong tonight, and if you going up against them, you're going to have to play your best. I think they're showing everybody that they are going to do they're going to do what it takes, and it's going to be tough to beat them. Not going to miss many shots. Mirte played an excellent match tonight. Timo was his usual self. Very good there. It's going to be hard to find a shot of the match. Nothing like super exciting, but I think Timo had a pretty good one in the 6th end. So I'm going to be going back and watching the VOD to, not the 6th end, the 5th end, I think. So I'm going to be going watch the replay. Hopefully I'll have the shot of the match out tomorrow, but I'm thinking it's probably not going to be till the weekend. All right, so let's bring it into the booth and we'll say goodbye. Thanks, Mats. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We've got more curling coming up this weekend. I know there's a lot of matches. We have to confirm some of the scheduling because I know there seems like a match getting moved around every weekend. So definitely follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and we'll be posting everywhere. Sometimes on Facebook. We tend to forget about Facebook. It's not been our huge platform. So make sure you follow us to get any updates. I appreciate all of you watching and hanging out tonight. Thomas, thank you for the power play rules. Appreciate that. Gonna have to learn some more of the rules myself. So with that, let's take a quick look at the standings. They're not going to be updated yet, but they are going to be in there. So with that, IDK will move up into a tie for first with Michel José and Belgium. They will have the what do you call it? The tiebreaker over Michel and José. So I think IDK will move up technically into first. But I think this is not ordered in any specific way. I think Michel and José were already first, and so we just pushed them. We just left them there. So IDK will be moving up. Yeah, we should have some more action coming up this weekend. I think there are matches, not maybe tomorrow night, but on Saturday. Mats is saying see you on Sunday, so I bet he's got a match coming up on Sunday. I will look at the schedule more. We didn't get it finalized before today. A lot of bit of busy IRL stuff, but appreciate you all for watching. Thank you very much, and we will see you on the next broadcast. So, good.